Welcome to the 6th week of the Business Management Capstone course. I'm going to try to keep the video shorter this week since now you already know the structure of the class. So let's go ahead and jump into the module for week 6. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the assignment summary. Obviously, you should always be watching the overview video, which you currently are. The module review is read Chapter 4 and review the PowerPoint presentation for Chapter 4. And then for the assignments this week, you have the course participation, competitively important resources for companies, the Chapter 4 Learn Smart, a case study, which we have not done so far. So you have a case study on Whole Foods Market back in 2014, the Globus Simulation Year 8 report. The majority of the companies are doing fantastic. Keep it up. Keep in mind, you just don't always want to use the same style of the report. You want to mix it up. You want to keep on improving the reports, but for most part, I'm very proud of this group. Fantastic. And the Globus Simulation Decisions for Year 8. Now we're getting into where you're going to find out if you're making the right decisions and if what you're choosing is working or not working. If you're not doing so well up to this point, make sure you're really applying what you're learning as you go and make the right decision for Year 8. And last but not least, we have the quiz for Chapter 4. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. You know all about the course content within each module. The course participation this week is for competitive important resources, which basically means what are the tangible and intangible resources that are important to a company. So what you're going to do is you get to choose a company and you will identify those competitively important resources, tangible and or intangible. I'll give you 2 examples. For me, I'm from the west side of Cincinnati. Preso Chili. Preso Chili has been there forever. Type of food they serve, same kind of food they serve everywhere that you could think of for the most part. With that said, I love Preso Chili. You know, I know my reasons, but without trying to give away too much information for the assignment, you really could analyze the tangible and intangible reasons why a West Sider would go to Preso Chili. Now, if you're not from the West Side, you would probably say, what is he talking about? So I'll use something better. What about Starbucks? Tons of people go to Starbucks. I've been to Starbucks. I drink coffee. When it comes to Starbucks, I will share my opinion. It is truly overpriced coffee. I think it's good, but is it worth the cost? No. So why do people go there? Then again, I'm not going to give you that answer because that ties into the assignment. Is it the tangible or is it more intangible? Okay. So I would point you in the Starbucks situation more intangible. Okay. It's tangible. The coffee, yeah, it's good, but there's more than that people are paying for overpriced coffee. So just kind of give you, an idea of what I'm looking for here. So not only do you have to list, is it tangible, intangible, and what those are, you have to explain why you chose them. So you can't just list because the coffee's great. Well, what else to it? Okay, what makes it the best coffee? What proof do you have it's the best coffee? Or what intangibles, what relationships have they created that why people choose Starbucks over other places? So step 2 of the assignment obviously is review the posts of your peers. And step 3 is provide a comment on at least 2 other posts. The replies must be engaging and meaningful. Like I said about the yearly reports, most of you are doing a great job. Same with these discussion boards, the course participation assignments. Now, with that said, there are a few of you are just saying, great job, way to go. That's not a comment that I'm looking for. That's not engaging. That's not meaningful. That really doesn't show me that you read the post or not. So for just those minor few, make sure you are actually providing a meaningful and engaging comment, or I will begin to deduct more points because of that. Okay. But like I said, for most of you, great job and keep it up. So let me go ahead and scroll down. This is the same format we had the Learn Smart for Chapter 4. You're used to that. The quiz, you're used to that. The new one is the case study. Okay, so here's another new assignment. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the semester. It's easy the first few weeks because all we did is focus on Globus. Then we started doing Globus and the McGraw-Hill Connect assignments. Now we're adding another McGraw-Hill Connect assignment along with the Globus assignments. It's going to seem like a lot of work. Keep in mind, as I promised, it all evens out. It wasn't that heavy at the beginning. It will seem more challenging now, and then it will start tailing off at the end. I definitely took that into account. I'm not giving you crazy amount of work outside what, the credit hours of the courses, but it will become challenging to you. With that said, last semester, there wasn't hardly anyone that had an issue with completing the case study. Just time consuming, but you should be okay. And if I go ahead and move down, of course, we have the Year 8 report. Like I said before, a lot of you are it's fantastic. I'm at a loss of words. I even put in some of your comments that some of the best Year 6 reports I've ever seen. So you're already ahead of the game. I mean, your Year 6 reports are looking like Year 10 reports to me. Some of you. And I made that comment, so you know who you are. So great job, beautiful cover page. The content obviously addresses all the topics for the report. You might have included graphs, charts, data to support your information. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, I made a comment to each and every one of you, so there shouldn't be any guesswork what I'm looking for. I've been very easy on the grading initially because I want you to get a feel for the report, because I did not get examples intentionally. So I've been easy on the grading, but now it's going to start tightening up because now you know what I'm looking for. All right. With that said, most of you are definitely on your way. And some teams who have 3, who feel like this is overwhelming, keep in mind there are some companies with teams of 2 that are knocking out a ballpark. Matter of fact, last semester I had 2 teams of 2, and they outperformed all the other teams. So keep that in mind. If you're a team of 3 and you feel like you're overwhelmed and you don't know how you're going to be able to do all this work, there's within your group, within your class, there are teams of 2 that are crushing it. So there really should be any excuses. But with that said, if I had to give it a ballpark percentage, I'd say a good 75% of y'all are just doing fantastic. So keep that up. And then last but not least, we have the Year 8 decisions. The reason why I say last is, if it was my preference, I would complete the Year 8 report first and then do the decisions. Now, this is just my preference. You don't have to do this that way, because the report gives you a chance to analyze what you're going to do for the decisions. Now, you don't have to view it that way. You could do your decisions and then basically say, okay, well, my decisions will dictate what I put in a report. That's fine too. I'm just saying my preference the report would really help me analyze what I'm going to be up to for the Year 8 decisions. So real quickly, I know I touched on the video at the very beginning of the course, but under course content, obviously I have the weekly modules, I have the discussion board shortcut, the global shortcut, Learn Smart, quizzes, and cases. So I always want you to at least go one time into the weekly module to make sure you're getting all the information, know exactly what you should be working on. But then after that, you can use these shortcuts to get to the assignments. That's what they're there for, so you don't have to keep on digging through the weekly module. 2 I want to point out. First one will be the quizzes. Okay, so once you access the quizzes, as you can see, you have additional information about the quiz. Obviously, like this one says, it's a chapter quiz. They can be multiple choice, true and false questions. Time limit is 50. Once the test has been started, it must be completed in the same sitting, and it even gives the due date. So just more general information about the assignment. So now if I go back up and select cases, and the case we'll be completing will be the Whole Foods one. It gives you some information about it. It states, before beginning this exercise, you will need to read the Whole Foods market case, which is in the e-text. It will also be helpful to review the tools and concepts in chapters 1 through 5. All right, so keep that in mind. You want to go ahead and review chapters 1 through 5. We're only covering up to 4 this week. And you say, well, what about 5 then? Well, 5, just at least basically, briefly review it. You don't have to read the entire chapter, but it might be helpful to complete this case study. With that said, like I said, I didn't have any students have an issue with completing the Whole Foods case study last semester. So it tells you there are 4 sections within the case study. Each section of the questions are worth 25 points. They can be multiple choice or true and false questions. Total points is 100, and you will be given 2 attempts to complete the assignment. So you have 2 attempts just in case something goes wrong the first time. Just getting used to the case studies. So multiple chances, so really shouldn't be an issue. But great information within there. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into Globus to look at the results from year 7. Before we go over the results from last year, I want to make sure everyone is aware of an area of the decision entry within the AC camera and UAV drone marketing portion of Globus. It's all the way at the very bottom, and the screen you're looking at right now is from an industry from last semester, so this is not someone's current data. But the competitive assumptions. The students informed me that one of the biggest tools that they used to be successful was this competitive assumptions area in these two different areas. Now, you don't have to use it, but I just want to point it out. As you know, I don't like to give away too much strategy, but this is one that I felt that for some of the teams who are still struggling a little bit, it would really help them out. Since I'm really not telling you what to do with it, I'm just pointing out to make sure that you're aware of it. So let's go ahead and review the results from last year. Now we finally have some data that we can look at. The year 7 scoreboard. Let's take a glance at it. Team E plus 34 change. They're at 106 for year 7. Team H plus 10, 105. Team A plus 4. Team J plus 23. Fantastic. Okay, that's great job. Now you may say, well, okay, Team F, they had a dip -6, and then B -10. That's okay. It's still early in the game. Not too concerned with that at all. Team I plus 21, so they could get lost in the shuffle here, where you would say, well, they're way down there in 8th place, but hey, a plus 21 jump, keep an eye out for them. Okay, don't just, discount them at all. So great job. Keep it up, Team I. Now, unfortunately, I have to talk about the negative aspects of the scoreboard. So Team D, G, and K, there are some big concerns now because you can see the gap. So the 8th place team is at 92 for year 7, and then the 9th place team is at 73, and then 10th 63, and then 11th 54. So there's a gap there. Can you make it up? Yeah, it's still early in the game, but I definitely want to draw this to your attention that Team D, G, and K, you're starting to get into trouble now. Okay? So just keep that in mind. There is time, but you've got to start making moves. Now, if we look at the game to date scoreboard, even though Team E had the highest jump with 34 points from 6 to 7, Team H is still leading the charge. Okay, so their overall game to date score is at 106. So Team E is right behind with 105. A's at 102. Great. I mean, this is all great. F 101, J 100. So keep it up. Even, I would go as low as, Team I. They're the ones who made that plus 21 jump. And they're at 90. So great job. Keep that up to stay in the game and to catch Team H and E and A and B and F. So then again, we're looking at the difference between 8 ranked team, which is Team I, is 90, and 9 is at 76. Okay, you say, well, that's only 14 points. Other teams made that jump before, but yes, true. But is there starting to be a trend now? And that's what I would say is when I would begin to get concerned is when you see a trend of teams not improving. Not only not improving, but maybe getting worse. So Team K, I am already worried about you right now. Okay, overall, to be at 59, as you can see, you're far below the pack. So this is your year to make a difference. If you're still around that mark and everyone else keeps on moving up, it would be impossible to catch them. And I would be concerned that, do you really truly understand the decisions you're making? So, as always, if you don't, and if you're having issues, you can always reach out to me. Okay. Hopefully you're talking to your team members first. That's the goal. But if as a team you're not understanding it, then you reach out to me. We can jump online, Adobe Connect session, and I can try to answer as many questions as I can without giving away strategy. I won't give strategy. That defeats the purpose then of using the simulation. Okay, so all in all, great job. For most of you, keep it up.
Let's jump into the earnings per share, return on equity, and stock price. So for earnings per share for year 7, Team E is leading charge at 2.98. Great job. Keep it up, Team E. As you can see, most of you are meeting expectations. Not everyone. And if I'm just quickly glancing at the data, as you can see, the one I'm going to be concerned with is Team K. Right off the top of my head, with a quick glance. Not even really looking into it, because look at Team K, year 6 was at 0.72. Year 7 at 0.67. So they're going down. You know, even if they just was at 7.2 again, or 7.3 or 7.4, hey, that's okay. They're moving in the right direction, but now they're going down. Now, some of the other teams went down a little bit, but they're not as far down as K. So I'm not so much concerned with them. Look, Team D, they're at 0.97 then, or 1.30. They're not meeting expectation, but they're moving in the right direction. That's what I'm looking for. So, moving on to return on equity. Year 7, again, Team E. Fantastic. It would not surprise me one bit if next week I do this video that you're leading the overall game to date score. So that's, of course, a challenge to all the other teams to not let you do that. But if you keep this up, it's going to be very hard to not only not allow you to be number 1, but to knock you off that number 1 spot. So great job. Keep it up. Now, as you can see, same with the earnings per share. Most of you are meeting expectation, which is bolded. There's a few that are not. K, I'm not going to keep on picking on you. Obviously, you can see the data right there. G, you had a pretty good dip there too, so keep an eye on that. But everyone else is where they probably pretty much should be at this point in time. Moving on to stock price. Team E again. I'm going to tell this class, watch out for Team E. Okay. I do the videos so we can make it more personable and you don't feel so disconnected since it's not an in-person class. And this is what I would say if it was an in-person class. I'd be bouncing up and down, jumping, clapping my hands, saying, watch out for Team E. Because if you don't, they're going to become number 1 and they're going to run away from everyone. So pay attention what they're doing. Obviously, they went from year 6 at 12.21 stock price to 91.09. To me, that says it all. Okay, so what they're doing is working. Now, a lot of you are meeting expectations, so great job. So keep that up. But I just want to make sure you understand is if Team E keeps on moving the way they are, you won't be able to catch them. With the knowledge of that I have with the simulation and really in business in general, you let someone take off. Good luck trying to compete. All right, moving on. Next we have credit rating. So, as I said in previous videos, I bet you everyone would be in the A-, A+ range, you know, towards the end of the simulation. Which, as you can see already, there's only one team that's at B+, G, which I have no concerns with. I would assume in a couple of years they're going to be at A- or A. So great job. Keep it up. The credit rating is not a give me. So you are performing like you should. So I don't want to act like it's no big deal, meaning that anybody can get an A-. I just find that students are really good about understanding the credit rating and keeping it at A- or better. So I applaud everyone. Even Team G, which I know will catch up. Image rating. So let's take a quick glance at image rating. So Team H has the highest image rating. As you can see, everyone else is meeting expectations except one, which is Team K. They had a little bit of drop, so not bad. So technically, I can't say too much about them because they can make that up easily in year 8. So all in all, great job. I'm going to jump into the comparative competitive efforts reports now. As always, we're just going to stick with North America. Obviously, the concepts apply throughout the other regions. I choose this one because it's the first one that pops up if you click on your comparative competitive efforts. So let's take a glance at it here. So the average for price is $255. So instantly I see A's at $275. And let's see if I have any other standards. F's at $285. And then we have within K at $325. Now, you're probably thinking the same thing I am. Wow, maybe that's the difference. Maybe they're priced too high. Well, before we make that judgment call, we have to look at the other data, right? PQ rating, we got 5.3, 4.4, average is 4.6. They are at 5.3. So PQ rating, they're at 5.3 at 325, but if you look at Team A, they're at 5.3 at 275. So far, you're saying to yourself, well, I would buy from Team A. Let's look a little bit more into it then. Let's look at models, number of models. We have 2 for Team A, but Team K does have 3 models. So that might be the difference. Still a big price jump there, but okay. It's not exactly the same as Team A. We can get into the retail, multi-store chains, online retailers, local retailers, support, the advertising budget, website displays. I know that made a difference last semester with the companies in the competition of what they were doing within the realm of their advertising, website displays, retail support, and all that. So please don't just blow those categories off. Sales promotion, that is also one that you have to pay attention to. Warranty period, a little bit all over the place, anywhere from 60 to 360. And as you can see, Team K has 360. So in their mind, they can say, well, that's why we have a price point of 325 instead of 275. So they can make a little bit of case right now to have a higher price, if you think about it. Now, with that said, is it working though? Demand for AC units you have and AC camera units sold. Let's focus on market share. So we have 10.1 for A, and we have 12.4 for H. So look at H, 223. So they're the lowest. Now, only by a few dollars against other teams, but they are the lowest. They have the most market share. Well, as you know, being the lowest price doesn't always make you the most amount of profit. It just depends. So I'm not going to go too deep into what they're doing because that would be unfair. But they do currently have the most market share. And they're highly ranked. So keep an eye out for them. Moving on, down to the UAV drone segment. So the price. Again, quick glance, I can see Team K is the highest, $17.50. Which is not a bad thing. So I don't want to keep on being negative about that. But you have to ask yourself, are you priced correctly? Because if I'm glancing across the screen here, unless I'm missing one, the next one is $1,500. So that's a $250 price difference. So you say, well, they have that price difference. Can they justify it? Well, let's see how many models they have. They have 4. The average is basically 2. So they got double amount of models. Brand reputation, they have 75. Everyone has, on average, 73, give or take. So a little bit higher with brand reputation. When it comes to online retailers, you can look at that data. And like I said, I don't want to go too much into it. The website display, search engine, retail, recruitment, warranty period, every option that we just explained with the AC camera. I just keep on saying it throughout the weeks because I want to make sure you're paying attention that there's more than just the price and how many models. There's a lot more than just that in the simulation. And that is why I love the simulation. I love the fact that you're just not in North America. You have other regions that you have to deal with and have to change your decisions based on the region. I'm a big believer everything is global now. You want to be global. Okay? I think the simulation gives you a great opportunity to begin to understand how to become global and what decisions work in one area may not work in another area. So now if we look at the warranty period, same way with the cameras, we have as low as 60 days, as high as 360, which would be K. So in theory, if you kind of think about it, K may just be a few decisions away from turning this around. And then they would have the last laugh on me. So I hope they do. So then we can look at the market share for the drones. And quick glance, I see 10.7, which will be H. They're at 1,169, which, let's see, they are the low. Oh no, I'm sorry, they're not the lowest. There's two other ones that are lower, I and J. So they're not the lowest, but they have the most market share. So keep an eye on that. So what other decisions are they making to ensure that's the case? Like I said, I don't want to give too much strategy away. But I do want to make sure you're digging through the data. On the left-hand side, you have tons of reports that you can look at to ensure that you're, competitive and you're in the top 5 at least. You can do it if you put in the work. Okay, so at the bottom of the page, we have the AC camera segment, North America, when it comes to price and PQ rating and sales promotions advertising. So as you can see, for the PQ rating, you have K. For the sales promotional advertising, you have H. For the drone segment, PQ rating, then again K. But then for the search engine advertising, retail discount, you have G. Keep it up. Like I said, make sure you're reviewing these reports. If you have any questions, contact me. All in all, the teams are doing fantastic. The yearly reports were great, and keep that up. Keep on challenging yourself, and I look forward to grading the assignments from last week, and also creating another video and just seeing the progress of this class. So everyone have a great week.